Piedmont versus Pfeiffer this Saturday, April 5th at 1 p.m.
At the Walker Athletic Complex. Winter patrolling around up top, able to blitz through the defense. And open again is Hasbrook as well. Parr fires and shoots.
We coming.
We got some class folks, but we gonna stomp you.
Huckabee cradles it high and swings it low. Harrington down under.
Number 2 Pfeiffer is ready to challenge your number 1 Piedmont Lions.
Hasbrook goes back to the top. Wilson slams it down. Mears gaining speed, still going. Coast-to-coast goal for Troy Mears.
The Lions have a conference record of 5-0, dominating USA South awards.
Test passes dropped right at midfield. Max Peak all over this one. Forces a drop. It's scooped and stolen away by the Lions. For a pass. McGriff's inside. Second shot bounces in good.
Piedmont versus Pfeiffer this Saturday, April 5th at 1 p.m.
Welcome into the Pride in Demorest, Georgia for USA South Conference action between the visiting Pfeiffer Falcons and your Piedmont Lions. Welcome into the booth, everybody. Eric Edmondson here with you. Alongside me is my partner, August Goddard. On camera for us this afternoon is Miss Tristan Hunt, and this is the game, a rematch of the 2024 USA South Championship between number 1 Piedmont and number 2 Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer making the 3-hour, 30-minute drive from North Carolina as they begin to parade down the steps here at the WAC. The Lions have been on a roll this season, a good record coming into today against the USA South. They are undefeated to this point, 5-0, an 8-3 record. Pfeiffer 7-3 overall, 3-0 in the USA South. Pfeiffer has dominated this matchup between the Lions. A 2-6 record Piedmont holds against Pfeiffer. This would mean an enormous amount for the Lions to really put this demon behind them and get this win this afternoon. And they've been doing it very well as they have Isaac Harrington leading the charge. 52 points, 30 goals for him, August, as he continues to lead the Lions offensively.
Yeah, and I think a big part of this game is actually going to be the face-off men, okay? So Lee Caldwell for Pfeiffer has won 80 of his 122 face-offs. Has a 65% win percentage. His partner, Chase Henderson, 43 of his 70, and Elias Solano, 50 out of 86. So those are all peaking right around 60% of face-offs won, whereas our two main face-off guys, we got Noah Glazinski winning 60% and John Giulice only at 48.5%. So winning that possession early on and getting those offensive breakaways is going to be huge to get in this game going.
And I mentioned before we went on air, just talking in brief, is that the Lions are going to need to step up on the defensive end. The offense can work. However, the defense is going to need to make the stop against Pfeiffer, because when you look at the stat comparison between both of these squads, Pfeiffer's leading the charge in all of them. That's goals per game, GAA, shot percentage, shot on goal percentage, and FO percentage, all being ran by the Pfeiffer Falcons.
Yeah, and Piedmont's been a first quarter team the whole season. If you look at their stats, goals by period, we've outscored the opponents 56-24 in just the first quarter. That's going to be huge because Piedmont likes to take a lull in the second, third quarter. They're not as aggressive. They don't move the ball as quickly. They kind of play isolation ball. So getting that movement going early in the game is going to be huge.
It absolutely will be, and we are still ticking down the minutes until we have our first face-off of the afternoon. We do have our starting lineup for both squads. So, August, what is Pfeiffer throwing out there to lead the charge?
Pfeiffer starting with number 12, Brandon Luft, number 22, Zach Gignac, number 32, Andrew Brown, 34, Corbin Hamilton is starting in goal. You have 47, Trent Orr, 55, Michael Keane, 71, Mason Tardif, 83, Chase Benton, 87, Ethan Miles, and 91, Jacob Henkel.
And for the Lions, leading the charge out, number 3, Isaac Harrington, team leader in points and goals. Behind him, Andrew Pagano, who is going to be a very key piece in this Lions lineup this afternoon, as he is the big defensive man behind him. Then you're going to have Eric Fuel, Will Isley, Mike Isley, who's going to be in net for the Lions, followed by Ian Couchton, Luke Warren, Noah McGriff, Ian Parr, and of course the face-off man, Noah Glenzinski for the Lions. The team captains are meeting right now, and we mentioned the defense for the Lions going on. But on the offensive side, how are they going to hack through this Pfeiffer defense?
They're going to hack by getting quick motion offensively, right? A lot of times, if you see previous games, they'll kind of stand around, wait to kind of cut topside, hope Ian Parr does something at the X by himself. And that just isn't going to work against a team as stout as Pfeiffer. They got a really strong defense, a lot of big guys, a lot of big athletic defenders with those long poles that will wreak havoc really against our smaller attackers. You know, Harrington's not a big guy, Miller's not a big guy. So I think getting the quick motion, getting them moving, multiple ball reversals we talk about, that will kind of break around the defense and also get in fast break. Piedmont doesn't score a lot of goals in the fast break. They kind of like to be settled, play 6-on-6. But using your quickness, athleticism to break past the defense is going to be huge to getting those goals early on.
And the Lions do have a bevy of athleticism in their roster. 2 deep rosters go at it. Number 1, number 2, here at the WAC this afternoon. Folks, we're going to take a quick break and come back with the starting lineups for both squads once again to get you refreshed. And, of course, the first face-off here in Demorest, Georgia. Keep it right here. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. It's a big game atmosphere. It's a warm one in Demarest. And it's almost time for Lacrosse. 79 degrees, nearly at game time. There's a storm rolling in later tonight. But there's already a storm waiting to happen on the field. Give you the starting lineups for both squads once again. For Pfeiffer, Luft, Gignac, Brown, Hamilton is in net. Orr, Keene, Tardif, Benton, Miles, Hinkle. And for the Lions, it'll be Harrington, Pagano, Fuel, Isley in net, Couchton, Warren, McGriff, Parr, and Glinzinski. Lions take the field today in their gold uniforms with green armbands and green lettering and green numerals. Pfeiffer takes the field in their grays, black and yellow bands around the arms. And August, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way right now. There's no love lost between these two squads.
Absolutely not, no. They've had a pretty strong history of having these high-impact, big-octane games. That does not cease at a big game atmosphere here on a beautiful Saturday in Demarest. We got women's lacrosse team in attendance, men's tennis team in attendance, parents from across the state of Georgia, Southeast. This will be a good one.
It is beautiful indeed. And before we start, August, want to congratulate you. It's your first call on the Main Event Broadcasting Network. Hopefully, more to come. Caldwell and Glinzinski going at it, and we are underway. Grounder is going to be picked up by Pfeiffer as they have the first possession this afternoon. Leonard, long stick midi. Moving to find a passing partner. He will right at the crest. Petzel. Or excuse me, that is Gignac. Lions setting up the defense, and this is something that was assumed that the Lions would put on defense early on as Pfeiffer looks to mount an attack early. Gignac trying to blitz through the defense, but good job by the Lions to throw up a wall. Ian Couchton on that side. Now moving back to the X. Jump pass, and now Lions defense shot fired, and Pfeiffer will strike first as it bounces right past Isley.
Yeah, that was Andrew Brown on the goal, making things happen from behind the net at that X position. Just a tough read for Isley in net. Kind of blinded by his own defender and just squeaks by him.
Isley, the junior out of Alpharetta. He's going to have to bear down today. '24th goal for Andrew Brown. Caldwell and Glinzinski back for a face-off. I believe we're waiting for one of the referees to get set. That's exactly what it was. And again, August, you mentioned the face-offs are really going to have to be won here by Piedmont. And again, Pfeiffer gets that first possession. So Lions have to set up the defense again. They have to pick up their own tone. They're going to have to force a lot of turnovers. That's exactly what Andrew Pagano is going to do in the backfield. Haven't seen Pagano just yet as he's really protecting Isley. But Pagano, team leader in turnovers forced. Pfeiffer moving on the far side. As a sea of clouds sweep the field. This one, a pass, shot, and blocked well and caught by Isley. Good save by the Lions goalkeeper.
Yeah, not only is Pagano the defensive leader in turnovers, but he's also the vocal leader, making sure that communication is up to par with who's the slide, who's hot, and all that stuff. Pagano's really the defensive anchor of this squad.
Team leader in goals and points in Isaac Harrington will hand the rock over to Zach Avila. Hasbrook now. Hasbrook braves a tough check. Another one as he knocks the defender a little loose. Hasbrook moving quickly here. Moves on a wing. Gonna have to find an open pass here. Good defense by Pfeiffer. And that one's gonna be flung well off. But a good job by Parr to be right behind it. So it'll be the Lions' ball as Pfeiffer We'll have to contend against Ian Parr. Parr slips and able to get back on top. Cradling well, pushes his way in. Ball's loose on the ground. Recovered by Pfeiffer. No, it's going to be kicked out by Pfeiffer. And the Lions are going to be able to recover that one. Will Isley's going to take it. Pfeiffer up early. Hasbrook takes his shot from outside. Saw an open avenue and just flung that one well too high. Parr back in the X.
That's a good look from Hasbrook as a lefty. Moving left, that's what you want to see, just a little too high.
Inside, and Harrington had a good shot at that one, but I think the stick collided with someone else before he was able to sling it. It's going to be Pfeiffer's. And going back to get this one is going to be Jacob Henkel.
Cheeky behind the back goal would have been a great one to get us going for the Lions. We would have gotten the bench active in the game. Crowd would have loved it, but unfortunately went a little too wide.
Pfeiffer moves quickly across midfield as the Lions substitutes race off. Near side, near that pesky pole. Pfeiffer setting up an attack, moving to the top, and from way outside, they pound one through.
That looked like Trent Orr, number 47, on that shot there. Just ripped one right into the net. Ozzy never stood a chance.
So already you can see that Pfeiffer is not going to be afraid of, or not be picky, rather, of their shot ideas. They're going to shoot from outside. They're going to shoot from inside. And the Lions defense has to do a better job of not just crowding the goal. They have to go out there and get it. They have to have the tough checks. They have to be able to knock that ball loose or at least cause some more disruption. Because right now, Pfeiffer, anytime they get into the defensive scheme, they like it.
Right, and you see season-long statistics, Pfeiffer 173 goals on the year, only 102 assists, both goals today so far coming unassisted. They're just winning the individual matchups right now.
Tough win on the face-off for Pfeiffer as they go for another one wide open. Good save by Isley. Able to draw to his knees and ricochet it. Big wrestling for this one. Grounder recovered by the Falcons. Pfeiffer moving in once again. Tough check. Shot from inside, and it's good. And here Pfeiffer absolutely parading around the Lions right now.
Yeah, it looked like Fletcher assisting Finley there. Just unfortunate from Fuel, tripping over his man, and that's just a really unfortunate break. Lions got to figure something out here, get this going.
That's 2 goals in very quick succession. The Lions have done a decent job of forcing ground balls. The problem is they're not getting to the ground balls just yet. Here, this faceoff will be won by Piedmont. Troy Mears taking it, will hand it off. And now a tough check as it's going to fall out of the net of Whitmore. Pfeiffer is going to recover it. Tough defense by the Falcons leads to a possession for them, and the Lions all out of sorts here early on.
I believe they called a push out of possession.
Yeah, okay,
yes,
gotcha.
So
good catch on that, August.
Whitmore 8-1 from behind, so they ended up keeping possession. See if we can get something going here.
Whitmore tries to pass inside, recovered by the Lions, and they're going to strike for the first time. And who better but Isaac Harrington to bury one through.
He's the point leader for a reason. He's got a phenomenal shot coming from that left side of his frame. Finds the upper corner. He's got a lot of power on that small frame, but he's a mismatch for a lot of those Pfeiffer defenders here today.
And it was a fantastic job to catch that one. That pass was not intended for him, but he was able to reset. And that perhaps a little bit of trickery against the Falcons is exactly what disrupted that defensive scheme there. So
Right.
Lions see if they can work with momentum. Another face-off won by the Falcons. Tough check. Scriven for Pfeiffer will hand it off to Johnson. Kyler Johnson sporting a purple lace stick, pushes his way in, goes for a pass in the X, back inside, and now the ball's loose. Race for this one is going to be won by Pfeiffer as Dylan Sullivan scurries over to collect it. Good defense by the Lions. They shoved that ball loose, and now it's a trio of Lions trying to collide on this one. And it's going to be Piedmont's.
That's the face-off Fogo man there. Dieterle just bench pressing him out of the way and win a ground ball leader for Piedmont, causing a turnover there.
Big weight room check there as now the Lions look to set up in their own system. Here's McGriff spinning the stick well. Hands off to Avila. Lions are a first quarter team. They like to be antsy in the first. They've been stuffed to this point. They do have a goal, but Pfeiffer's figured them out. Isley moving his way in to the X. McGriff goes for a jump shot, an excellent save by O'Connell.
And a beautiful breakout pass as well. Similar soccer. Just let it go upfield, let your guys run onto it.
Excuse me, that was Hamilton. That's my mistake. I saw the 4, and a beautiful save by Isley.
Ate that off the face mask.
I was about to say, you wear equipment for a reason. Save's a save, he says.
That was 87. Ethan Miles with that shot there. 21 goals on the season, 9 assists. One of 4 members with 20-plus goals for the Pfeiffer Falcons. They spread the wealth very well.
Lions trying to stop that wealth flow. Defense is spread out a little bit more, and they're getting a little bit more aggressive. Piedmont maybe trying to feel them out in the early half. Tough check. Ball loose. Grounder going to be recovered by number 87, Miles.
That was a beautiful switch there from Pagano. As I mentioned earlier, talking about the vocal leader, he and Mears right there talked it out beautifully as the save comes out from Isley as well. Stuffing the Falcons once again. Hopefully getting more offense here for the Lions.
And it was a fantastic job by the defense for the Lions to wind that clock down to 15 seconds. And Isley taking his time, looking to who to distribute it to. He's going to go to Whitmore. Whitmore able to stand sturdy on the yellow. This one finds its way over to Bice. Now back to Joseph. Lions taking time, and this is exactly what they like to do. They like to cause the defense, perhaps force an issue, and then they make their motion. Whitmore moving behind the X, trying for a pass. Now Parr recovers. Parr juking the defense. Tip of the spear. Loses the ball. Grounded recovered by the long stick. And now the Lions are going to run back to it. They're going to be able to pick it back up. Here's Nick Winter now.
Yeah, Lions love running out of this 1-4-1 set, initiating the offense from that X position behind the goal. With those 4 across, getting those kind of crisscross cutters, trying to mix up the defense, getting some rubs. Similar to football, you see rub routes. That's what the Lions like to do when they're at that X position.
And that one just a very difficult look. Joseph Whitmore was the intended recipient of that one. That one rolls all the way to us here in the booth. And now Pfeiffer across midfield. The Eagles, unrelenting here, continue to score.
Yeah, low to high goal there from Tardif. That is really hard to stop as a keeper. You know, the release angle being so low, center of the goal, center lane, can't really have a grasp on where he's going to shoot that shot. Pretty much free reign on him. Isley got unlucky there. Beautiful shot there from Tardif.
So a 4-1 lead here for the Falcons. As they go for the face-off once again. Tough face-off win here by the Lions initially. It flips out of the laces, and Pfeiffer's going to be able to come back around and steal that one. Ryan Barbaretti as that one's flung wild. Excuse me, that was Barbetti. Lions going to be able to recover this ball.
Yeah, that was freshman on freshman there for that ground ball, Cowston and Barbetti. Cowston coming off a serious foot injury as Leonard's loses the head of his stick. First quarter, hopefully he's got a backup one back there, but yeah, these ground balls off face-off super important. Cowston's been great on it all year. Coming off an injury, hopefully he can return to form very quickly.
The Lions will need it today as Isley cradles and pushes his way through once for a bounce shot. It's off the top bar. Gonna be recovered here by Piedmont as Hasbrook puts laces on it. Hasbrook spins the defense, moving to the near side, looking for a pass. It gets rattled out, and now Pfeiffer going for a scoop. Gonna be able to get that back. Good check by Avila to open up a window for himself to come back through. Parr behind the X, moves outside. Isley looks for an angle. Isley at the tip of the spear, has to get that ball loose. He will. It's gonna run wild, and it's gonna be Pfeiffer's ball. On that big disruption was Brandon Luft.
Huge check on Isley there. Deep pole can be anywhere between 20, 30 inches longer than a short stick. Use that to his advantage there very well.
And that's exactly the type of play you're going to see all day long between these two squads. Like we said, they don't like each other very much. So they're not going to get any hurt feelings over a tough check or a trip.
And we mentioned Piedmont being a first quarter team. We are 2/3 of the way into the first quarter with only one goal. Pfeiffer's defense has been stout. Piedmont's had some good looks. They're just not capitalizing on all of them. But it's going to take a perfect game offensively for them to get back into this one.
Well, like you mentioned at the top, August, some of their best looks this time have been good. First off, good save there by Isley to just reach out of the circle and grab that. But a lot of their best looks have been on the fast breaks, not so much on the setups, as staying in is going to be good attempt there by Austin Sprout, but he was shoved out by the defense, and Pfeiffer able to get that ball back. And that's something that the Lions are just going to have to maybe check back, maybe get themselves a piece of that pie, because right now the Pfeiffer Falcons are living on the turnovers on the sides.
Yeah, we need the term is roll back. When you're going for that clear, kind of turn back, see a new angle. We kind of get in tunnel vision, just run down one alley. As Isley there makes another beautiful save. He's playing great so far. Yeah,
sorry, August, go ahead.
No, it was when you're trying to clear, passing as that one, beautiful pass from Pagano is going to be key. As Walker just sends that one out of bounds.
Yeah, Lions they're playing like they are disrupt right now. They're showing Pfeiffer their colors at the moment. They're making odd moves. They're making odd passes. They're going to have to simmer down here or risk being run over.
And when we were watching warm-ups, it came down to energy, right? Pfeiffer was the more vocal team than Piedmont coming into warm-ups. They were loud. Their fans were supporting. Whereas Piedmont, not saying they weren't loud, they were vocal. It was just a different level coming from the Falcons as the visitors trying to spoil the senior day here at the WAC.
Seniors were honored about an hour before game time. Scoop inside, then a slam. And that's going to force a timeout here, and that is much needed for the Lions. Might have needed that a little bit before that goal, but now 5-1, they have to figure some things out in this huddle.
Yeah, just got to get the clears going a lot more effectively. Pfeiffer, I don't know the exact number, probably have at least 8 to 10 more shots attempted than Piedmont so far today, coming off the faceoffs, coming off the successful clear attempts. The defense is playing well. It's just the offense isn't stepping up its game like it needs to so far today.
They need that ball to get across midfield. We're going to take a break and then rejoin you for more action from the WAC. Pfeiffer up 5-1. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. Lions searching for that reset button. We'll see if they pushed it or not coming out of this timeout. And we mentioned time and time again, this Lions squad, they're a first quarter squad. They only got about 3 minutes left to show something to these Falcons to think about going into the next break. Glenzinski comes out of the face-off with a win. He's going to get it over to Couchton. Harrington now. Parr. And this is where the Lions need to get a little bit better, need to get a little bit more firm with their passing, maybe get a little bit more rough with standing tall. They're right around the third quarter of the field, and that's poked out. Hasbrook having a level with it, gets out of the defense. Hasbrook racing down, looking for an angle. He was searching for someone perhaps to pass inside to. Instead, he's going to take it back to the X. Spin motion, get out of the way of the defense. Moves his way back in, finds an angle. Bounce pass, Parr from outside, spins his way through. Good defense by Pfeiffer, keeping him where he is. He has to pass it off to Avila. Avila. Past the yellow, pushes his way in, pass inside, shot, bounces out. And that's going to be a Lion ball back again. Hasbrook closest to it.
Yeah, and I think the offensive spacing for the Lions could be a bit better. We mentioned that 1-4-1 type of formation. They kind of get a little too close to the crease where the defenders guarding those four can easily slide over to that offensive player rotating from the X, as we just saw Harrington getting that shot off.
Avila pushes way in, goes for a shot, it bounces off, and that'll be a save, but for the Lions, they get the ball back. Now just 2 minutes, 24 seconds left. Harrington pushes way in the X, spins, unable to keep his footing, goes for one down under, and it's going to roll out, and that will be a Pfeiffer ball.
Shot clock, possession clock was ticking down, kind of need to take a chance there. The shot going that wide, there's time to get those defensive substitutions onto the field, so all in all, not a terrible possession from the Lions, but one that after a timeout you would have liked to capitalize on.
Hamilton, the keeper, crosses that one across midfield. It's been very good for Lacrosse, for the Pfeiffer squad. As now Pfeiffer swaps to the defense. Lions looking to perhaps staunchly put up one. They're going to try to build off as much as they can, or burn off that clock as much as they can before heading to the second quarter.
Yeah, and Piedmont here is in a bit of a zone defensive look. You see Pagano kind of roaming around in the center there. The number 5 jersey adds another goal, rips through the back of the net there for Pfeiffer, taking a 6-1 lead. Piedmont's got to figure it out quickly. It's going to get out of hand quickly if things don't change here.
They got to cause more disruption up front, like you said, and like they've been doing all game. They've had a game plan going in, obviously, and they don't want to stray away from the defense to put around the net. They want to make sure that they're not going to get scored from on the interior. However, Pfeiffer is not scoring from the interior right now. They're getting fantastic looks from outside, wide open angles, wide open avenues, and the shooting lanes are, again, wide open. The Lions are going to have to get up close and personal to cause a little bit more trouble. Glenzinski tackles him down, trying to get this ball loose. And Pfeiffer is going to not be able to get it there. A collision again as the Pfeiffer Falcons are going to play through this one.
Pfeiffer's got 6 goals on the game so far today, scored by 5 different players. Ethan Miles, number 87, the only player with multiple goals. As mentioned earlier, they love to spread the wealth, and that is very obvious. I think that's part of the game plan coming into this zone look. You can't really focus on one player because they have so many talented attackmen, offensive-minded midfielders in the unit. This offensive unit that's oiling and moving very well for the Falcons.
Pfeiffer settling over. Good shove there by Dieterle to see if he can cause a bit of that disruption. On the buddy pass, going to be rolled away by Piedmont. Long stick picks it up. McGriff trying to spin his way through is going to get taken down. Or rather, that's not McGriff, excuse me, that was Luke Warren.
Yes, beautiful goose from him as well, getting control of that ground ball.
There's McGriff.
Advantage. Beautiful shot there from McGriff. Hopefully that injects some energy into this squad here today.
Yeah, spoke it into existence there. Noah McGriff left wide open and napping next to the net and was able to fling it through. Lions are fighting back a little bit here. Still got a tough road to climb, though, down 4.
Yeah, the 3 attackmen here. Harrington, number 3, McGriff, number 18, Parr, number 44. Those 3 are going to stay on the field pretty much the entire game. Our 3 leaders in points. And as we mentioned, the Piedmont doesn't like to score on the fast break, but they may have to, given the size and strength of the Pfeiffer defensive unit.
And that one, penalty going to be won by Piedmont here. Parr. Parr is going to pass it on over to Bice. Bice over to Parr again. Ian spins his way through, blitzes his way through, goes for a goal. It's ricocheted right into the laces of Finley. And a flag, multiple flags fly on the field. Finley and Whitmore exchange words as the final buzzer tolls for the first quarter.
Yeah, we talked about this a little before the game, and as well as early into the first quarter, how Pfeiffer was getting those checks in and how Piedmont may need to respond. Responding with 3 seconds left in the first quarter may not be the appropriate time, as now we will likely head into the second quarter down a man with Pfeiffer's possession.
We are heading to the second quarter with Pfeiffer standing tall against Piedmont 6-2. We're going to take a break and then rejoin you with more action from the WAC. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. Starting off here on the Lions side of the field. And good steal away by Pagano. Hasn't necessarily left a stamp on the game just yet. And a good pass there, gets a lot of room to move. Parr. Over here. Moving to the X. Lions gonna go set up. McGriff. Looking for someone to pass to. He's going to find Avila. Avila. Long run for him. Check for good measure by the Falcons. Parr. Here we see the Lions just setting up here. They're trying to see how much rope they have to play with. As Hasbrook comes in, immediately rushes his way through. Hasbrook cradling high. Parr on the side. Parr puts it through.
That is a huge possession from the Lions. Breaking down that penalty kill here. Getting that steal from Pagano, heading down the field, wearing it off. Hasbrook comes onto the field, immediately makes an impact. Great start to the second quarter for the Lions.
Yeah, Hasbrook kind of flew in from the wings. I don't know if it was computed by Pfeiffer that he was coming in as quick as he was, and Parr was just kind of left all alone. And Hasbrook gave him a good look. He looked like he was about to go for a shot in. Instead, goes for an easy pass. And as it turns out, easy goal as the Lions have cut the lead in half now.
And those are the looks you really want. Piedmont's actually leading the total shots 12-11, but only 4 of those shots have been on target, whereas for Pfeiffer, 9 of their 11 have come on target. So it's that shooting accuracy that is very important. And proving terrain here as Pfeiffer rips another one. Beautiful save from Isley. Ground ball to Pfeiffer as they look to reset.
Yeah, that was a fantastic save by Isley. As now Pfeiffer may be taking a page out of the Lions book and just taking their time here. Chase Benton moving on the left side, or rather the near side, as Pfeiffer moves in on an angle. Benton gets the ball here, goes to the top. Lions defense getting a little sturdy. Filling up the zone, now going out to attack. Good slip up caused, and now Fuel all over that one. Lions pressuring well. That one's going to be stuck by Pagano. Recovered by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer takes a shot from down under. Isley saves again. Pagano pushes it out. Fantastic defensive possession by the Lions.
And we saw a good perspective on that zone defensive look, letting that ex-attackman kind of reign free, knowing that if the ball comes to him, there's enough time for the defense for Fuel, Warren, and Pagano to react to that. And that was just a wonderful communication and just knowing your defensive system there from the Lions. Exactly what you want to see to start this quarter.
Piedmont pushing through, going for perhaps a quick break. Go to the back of the X. On the side, inside, Whitmore unable to handle the bounce, goes to Bice, and now flipped it back over. Nick Winter over in, and Nick Winter well outside.
Hit the side net, I believe, but there is
Yeah.
a flag on the field. It's a technical foul on Pfeiffer, so that'll be a 30-second penalty. Piedmont will retain possession here and look to score with a man up. Keep that momentum rolling. We scored. Got a huge stop. Could potentially score again here.
And you like that look from Nick Winter from well outside. Lions have been trying a lot of the time to have the assist idea in their head. Nick Winter taking himself, being greedy. Isley trying to do the same. And that one just ricochets right off of the hand of Michael Keene. Shakes the right hand there, gets the bumblebees out of it. McGriff over to Hasbrook. Hasbrook pass over. Isley. Isley, par on the side. Has to spin out of the way. Find a different avenue. Goes back to Will Isley. Isley at the top. Back inside. Goes for a shot. Harrington right at the top.
That will get the crowd into it for sure. Hasbrook with 2 assists already in the second quarter. Harrington with his second goal of the day, bringing up to 32 on the season. That's the X factor. Not the ex-attackman, but the X factor. He is the guy that Pfeiffer needs to look out for, and he's already making his impact felt here early on.
And the Lions just absolutely stomping on the fire of Pfeiffer here right now.
Yeah, not sure what Coach Dutton said in between quarters, but it must have worked as they're playing with extra ferocity here, knowing that this is a game that they want to win, the fans want to win, and Pfeiffer does not want to lose.
Tough check there by Harrington, and now the Lions are getting a little bit more aggressive. Pfeiffer on their heels, backed into a corner, and now the Lions trying to take advantage of that one, as now it's Pfeiffer's turn to have the loose passes. Good juke out of the way, but Pagano able to get back to it. To the X, the Pfeiffer Falcons reset the system. Sullivan being guarded well there by Gary. Pfeiffer goes for the long pass, and that one's going to be over the head and out.
That is extremely high IQ defense there from Pagano. Defensive concepts in lacrosse are very similar to basketball, and that's what we call a blitz in basketball. I'm sure it's a very similar term in lacrosse, where the offensive player is not suspecting that second defender to come on him that quickly, and with the long pull, cause the turnover and gets this offense going yet again.
Isley, long pass over to find Avila. Avila able to stay out of the range of the outstretched long stick defender. Hasbrook to Parr. Parr's thinking for a shot. Excellent save by Pfeiffer. Long pass, Isley tries to deflect it, and he will. Pagano intercepts it on a ground ball. Pagano takes it across midfield. Here's Avila. Avila at the top. Avila bounce pass. Not a bad idea there to see if you get a bounce goal right over the head of the very tall keeper that Pfeiffer sporting in Corbin Hamilton.
Pagano is big and strong, but his stick work for a man that size is quite impressive. He could take it all the way to the cup if he has to, off a turnover.
Avila in the back. Goes over. Looks like Hasbrook now. Yeah, it is. Hasbrook spinning out of the way. Hasbrook over to Parr. Parr thought about it. Now Parr rethinks. Inside, interior. McGriff is in!
Second time we've seen that connection today. McGriff from Parr. I believe we've seen it one other time, vice versa. Parr, Harrington, Hasbrook, and McGriff are cooking right now.
And the Lions have roared all the way back almost. Pfeiffer put on the ropes. 3 goals early in this second quarter. Face-off won again by Piedmont. Lions getting ever gritty at that position. The ball's going to be knocked loose. It is going to be Pfeiffer's turn now. A fantastic defensive shot there by the Falcons. Tough slap there by Harrington. Has number 35 Jenkins feeling it for a minute. And Jenkins has to rush off. Lions defense and Pfeiffer's offense slowing down a little bit here. Pass inside. It's going to go off the stick. High bouncer, high flyer, recovered by Pfeiffer. Take a long route to try to get back into it. Now Pfeiffer has just been not on the fast break at all. They've tried to settle down. They've tried to put roots in, but that's where this Lions defense is really excelling. They're excelling on just waiting out the offense. As now Pfeiffer stampedes their way through. Isley's going to scoop that one right out.
Yeah, Isley bailed out Mears there a little bit. Went for a big poke check there and got a little unlucky with the miss, but Isley came up huge.
Tough shove. Down on the ground is Mears, and yeah, that ball's going to be Piedmont's after that one.
Push without possession there. Again, a bit of a bailout from Pfeiffer, not what they can afford given the momentum situation of this game.
And the momentum is nearly crushing, as now Harrington's going to wait for all his pieces to get on the field. Winter hands it over. Lions moving quickly here to the X. Piedmont pushing again. Winter, pass, Whitmore, over. Now moving his way through is Wilson. Newly entered, some fresh legs on the field. Under 30 on the shot clock. Harrington scoping out the situation, orbiting pass, trying to find Winter. He will. Winter loads up and sends that one flying.
Yeah, he loaded that one up for about 2 hitches and a step and missed by about 4 inches over the net. But he's uncontested. We appreciate that look. Having a variety of shots is important to generating the looks that you want to see.
Whitmore able to dodge and duck out of the way. Down, under, and that is going to be a time where it's going to be a big thank you very much by Hamilton, but Piedmont's going to get the ball back.
I believe Henkel ran through the crease.
I'm about to say that has to be a violation.
Yes. So granting a full reset to the Lions, hopefully to take advantage here. Again, obviously, as you mentioned, Wilson substituted in for Parr. Hopefully he can have a similar impact offensively.
Excellent effort there by Brandon Luff to really jump out of that ball and make sure that Pfeiffer can get this possession back. McScriven. And I think we're going to have a timeout here. Pfeiffer's going to take that one, and now the shoe is on the other foot. Piedmont has come out of that second quarter break absolutely furious, and the Falcons have not been able to do anything against it.
Yeah, furious might be an understatement. Holding them scoreless in the first 9 minutes and change here of this period while scoring 3 of their own. The defense has been stout all year. They're really stepping up today.
They absolutely are. Pfeiffer scoreless so far here in this second quarter. We'll see how that looks coming out of the break. We're going to take a quick break here as well. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. Let's see what the game plan is for Pfeiffer coming out of the timeout. The Lions defense has been a lot more aggressive. That has certainly led to a lot more turnovers. And that's a big reason why. That big check by Couchton was 100% a factor in pushing that ball loose, or at least forcing a loose pass. Excellent block by Isley. And now the Lions defense still being tasked here. Can't get that ball loose.
That was only Pfeiffer's 4th shot of this quarter, whereas Piedmont has 10 already.
Make it their 5th shot, and that one not nearly close. It's turned out to be a fantastic showing by the home faithful Lions. And that one, again, will be Pfeiffer's ball. We thought early on that maybe Pfeiffer would win the attendance game today, but absolutely not.
No, there's a whole lot of green on the near sideline here for the Lions, as well as some in the peanut gallery up above the far side goal. Hoping to see a victory here on a big senior day on a beautiful Saturday in Demorest.
Pass to the X. Lions defense crowding around that, and that is a gritty, tough goal by the Falcons.
Fisher's going to talk it over here.
Yeah,
Fuel's
we'll see if that's a
arguing
crease.
he's in the mouth of the goal versus Pfeiffer saying that he was pushed into that area. Goal stands.
Yeah, I think that's a good call by the officials there. There was a lot of turmoil happening there. I mean, look, if you're going to call that a push right now, it's going to get called a push later on, and I would much rather just sit where it is right now.
Exactly.
That's just something you got to live with. It's okay. You held Pfeiffer down, but you knew you were going to need at least one more to tie the game, or at least 2 more to win this game. Yep. So nothing has changed here in the mentality for the Lions.
We've still got a third of the second quarter remaining, as well as the entire second half. If the Lions are able to end this quarter strongly, the momentum will carry into that third quarter, come out with some fire. This game is far from over.
Man, I don't even know with the way these two teams play. I don't know if they need a halftime break. They are running on pure adrenaline right now. Match going to be won here by Pfeiffer momentarily. It's a tough hit, and a flag's going to fly. Yeah, that's going to be warranted.
Slash to the head. Talked about face-offs early on. With this win counting for Pfeiffer, that will be their 9th win versus Piedmont only having 4. Those extra possessions will add up in the long run.
Yeah, and those 4 possessions that the Lions were able to win off early, they turned into goals more or less. So Piedmont's going to have to figure it out here. And maybe this is how this match is going to go. It's going to be a momentum swing battle of whoever takes that timeout. Whoever has that big break.
Avila got called for that slash to the head in the box for 1 minute. leaving the Lions defense shorthanded for the foreseeable future.
Lions defense can measure up to it, though. This one on the far side, now open again. That's going to get through. Yeah, Isley was left all alone there. That one just a bad job by the Lions defense, and Pfeiffer has answered back quickly. It's now a 3-deficit game once again.
That power play set from the Falcons is definitely drawn up on a whiteboard somewhere up at Pfeiffer University in North Carolina. That was run to perfection. Switching sides, Isley does not have time to react. Right on the doorstep, wide open net for, I believe, they gave that goal to Gignac, I believe. Yes.
A goal by Brown, assisted by Gignac.
There you go, yep.
Face off again, won by Pfeiffer. They're going to blitz all the way down, take their long shot from outside, and someone's got to stop the buses. Pfeiffer has erupted coming out of the timeout. And just like that, Pfeiffer has poured a big bucket of ice water on the Lions' fire.
Face-offs, face-offs, face-offs. Just a free, fast break for the Falcons. Four on three there, wide open net. As another one goes to Pfeiffer.
Lions gonna have to find a way to stop the midfield rush and force a little bit more of that disruptive defense that they had in the first part of this second quarter. They were causing a lot of errant passes, a lot of miscommunication. Right now the defense filing out, seeing which man they're gonna have to rush, which man they gotta cover. Good check there as Pfeiffer loses a piece of equipment. That bounces free and a flag flies.
So there's another broken stick on the field. I believe it is number 32 for Piedmont, Rylan Walker, missing the head of his stick. As the official picks up, hands it to him as he enters the penalty box.
And that's something you can't afford right now, especially with Pfeiffer running as they are. Listen, penalties, they're going to happen in the game. But at this moment in time, cannot do that. Cannot put your defense in a bad position. Pagano measuring around as Pfeiffer is going for the passing game here. They're going to see what they can disrupt. Lions filling up the area. Isley left a little bit alone. Got to watch that man next to Isley. Pass inside and a big check down by the Lions. They put him in the dirt and the ball is going to get loose. Excellent pass here as Piedmont rushes down. Going for a fast break here. He sees an opening. He's going to go back to the X.
That's Fuel making an impact here on Saturday. Absolutely spell of the Pfeiffer attackman. Put him in the turf and sending him on his way to the substitution area.
Isley cradling here. This is the first chance the Lions have had in a minute. Harrington to the back. Parr slips, stumbles, able to get his feet back underneath him, though.
Piedmont is back even, looking to play 6-on-6 offense here and get back into this one.
Yep, Vila back out on as well. Parr. Vila pushes his way in, takes a half-cocked shot. It'll be a Lions ball again, but not the best look there from Avila, just trying to get that shot off. Now 10 seconds on the clock here for Piedmont when they come back in. Gonna have to hurry something. Hasbrook looking, searching, fires, and upper 90 is blocked, and it's going to be a turnover on the clock. Pfeiffer gets this, or rather Piedmont gets this one.
Yeah, I believe it was Harrington just popped it right off the goalkeeper's helmet, sent it out of bounds, so that is a 60-second reset. Very fortunate there from the Lions.
That interception as Pfeiffer, long stick, takes it all the way down. Now the defense has to spring into action as that one's catapulted right into Isley, and Isley, a fantastic job to keep the foot in place. Ball loose again. Pfeiffer's going to turn it back the other way. Falcons at the top. Now move on the far side wing. Just a couple minutes left here in this second quarter. And that was scooped from down under, and a fantastic drop save there by Isley. Able to drop to a knee and pick that one back up. Lions would love to at least get a goal off here. They were a goal away from tying it. But then they fell short. And now a big collision between teammates and a missed grounder here. Still missed. Everyone's scrambling, and Pfeiffer's going to come up with that one. It's a huge missed opportunity there by Piedmont.
That's just an unfortunate freshman mistake. Mears and Walker there colliding. Just can't be happening at this stage of such a big game towards the latter end of the season.
Yep, and it looks like Pfeiffer's going to burn as much clock as they can here to wind down this second quarter and the end of the first half, to where they've had a lot of control. Just 3 goals here in this second quarter, but they were in quick succession. Lions trail by 4. Pfeiffer did a lot of heavy lifting in the first quarter. Now getting to play whatever scheme they want to for the rest of the game. That one missed wide. Defense by the Lions good enough to push that one out of the way. That one inside, and Isley unable to contend with it. The Falcons continually break the defense on the side.
That gives them a 10-5 lead. Piedmont made it a 6-5 game with 9:31 left in this quarter and have been held scoreless since then while conceding 4 goals on their own. That is a run to think about towards the end of this game as it gets closer to the final horn, letting up 4 goals. As we saw, Pfeiffer scored with 5:55 left, 5:35 left, and 5:31 left. Quick succession, and then with 30 seconds left as well.
And that's going to be a turnover penalty there. Isley slips on that one. Pfeiffer's going to take it. And watch this fast break here with just 30 seconds left in the half. Or rather, they're just going to concede it.
Very smart time out there from Pfeiffer to set something up here. This is going to be a big offensive possession for the Falcons. To see Ethan Miles strutting his stuff, rightfully so. He's been frying our defense all day today.
The Lions, it's not a situation where they've been too streaky. They have gotten in a lot of streaks. They've been very, very fast, and they've been very, very connected. The problem is that they can't do it consistently. And the Pfeiffer defense has been very consistent. The Pfeiffer offense has been very consistent. The Lions just not able to learn from their own mistakes. We're going to stay on here with you until the end of the half, and just what do the Lions have to do? What do they have to talk about in between halves to figure what's wrong?
I don't doubt that the Lions want to win this game. You can tell they want to win it. It just has appeared that Pfeiffer wants to win it more. They came out with the energy to start the game. We saw it in warm-ups. We saw it from the first face-off. And at the start of the second quarter, the Lions came out and they matched that energy. But it's like they took a 5-hour energy and just crashed at 9 p.m. and fell asleep for 12 hours. They haven't been able to get back up to that level. We'll see at the start of the third quarter. But having those streaks of offensive firepower is useful. But you just simply cannot go 9 minutes without scoring a goal. That is just not a recipe for winning lacrosse games.
No, it is not. Pfeiffer is going to get the final shot here, it seems. Lions doing their best to see if they can stop this shot from going off, and Isley's going to be able to hang with it. Isley get it to Pagano. Pagano, long pass, and that is going to be the end of the first half. And Pfeiffer, 6 goals in the first, 4 in the second. Overall, running the day. 10-5 the score at the half. And man, Piedmont is really going to need to talk things over going into that huddle.
Yeah, Piedmont's got 5 goals on the day. They've attempted 23 shots and only 9 have been on frame. Pfeiffer's put 19 shots on frame. Isley's been playing incredible. He's been doing everything he can. It's just Pfeiffer has a far superior amount of possession, and it is incredibly hard to play defense for a minute and a half to 2.5 minutes straight. Giving up a goal and then shortly giving up a goal right after that is incredibly demoralizing. I think that's part of why Coach Dutton and Coach Farrell and the rest of the staff want to kind of slow it down, the offense. Complementary lacrosse, right? You want to slow it down, give your defense time to breathe while also generating good looks. The good looks are coming in the fast break. It's not giving our defense time to rest. But they will figure it out, and they will capitalize on those opportunities here in the second half.
They got a whole nother half to play with. Folks, it's going to be a long one down the stretch. And August, good to have you on for the first half, sir. And I believe you are set to head over the table doing split duty today?
I am, yes. I'll be being replaced by our very own Grant Prather on the call to join you, Eric. It's been a pleasure having my first call with you. Appreciate you invited me. Wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we will see you at the beginning of the second half. Piedmont and Pfeiffer. This is still a big game, folks. This is still a big atmosphere, even if Pfeiffer has their foot on the throat right now. 10-5 the score. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. Technical difficulty, sorry, everybody. We're back here at the WAC. Eric Evanson here with Grant Prather. Tristan Hunt on camera for us this afternoon. Bice over to Winter. Winter looking up top. Gonna take the shot, and a flag flies. We'll see who that's going to be on. And we have another snap stick, Jacoby Leonard. I believe that might be his second stick that's been snapped this afternoon.
That's a lot of money. Replace that. Wow.
No kidding. That is going to be on Jacoby Leonard, that penalty. Just 32nd. But Lions with a man-up opportunity here. Whitmore to Hasbrook. Hasbrook back over to Whitmore. Whitmore looked like he was leveling, getting ready to throw, and Hasbrook getting hassled well. Goes to Whitmore again. Isley able to leap into the air and get the pass. Lions, that trio just being hassled up top. Got to find a way to push through. No call by the referee. Moves his way into Harrington. Pass over to Winter. Isley swings it low. It's deflected again. Ball gets loose. Isley back towards the yellow. Able to pass it back through. Now Parr has to get on this ball quickly, but not before Pfeiffer able to get a touch on that one. Everyone channeling for this ball. Everybody wants it. And the Lions are not going to be able to come up with it. Yes, they will. Sorry
wow, what
about
a
that,
sequence,
folks.
Eric. What a sequence.
No kidding.
And you can't put that on you. That's a tough one to call.
Whitmore dodges out of the way at the top. Whitmore bounce pass right past the goalkeeper. And Parr back there again. Hamilton.
Got to be able to work behind the net here. They've been working in front of it for too long, and Ian Parr back there is such a good facilitator.
That one gets through. And going to be scooped and stolen away here by Jenkins. Lions defending well. Fuel trying to stay on that tough defense. Now Pfeiffer having their first real good possession of this half. At the top, loose, Isley. Can't block it. A slow developing pass, that one. Isley frustrated with himself, and Pfeiffer draws first blood here in the second half.
Pfeiffer's been doing a great job of moving without passing. Just the solo one-on-one movements, little juke steps, hop steps to get a step up on the Lions defenders, and that's yet another one that's resulted because of that.
Taken away here by Piedmont. Excellent job by Couchton to knock that loose. McGriff back over to Bice. Lions playing slow here. Avila. Pass inside, and ball's loose. Everyone, again, going to scramble on this ball. Taking it away is Winter. Gets knocked out of his laces. Now speeding away is Hinkle. Hinkle takes it across midfield. Midfield pass over, passed on the far side. And again, the Lions just unable to develop an attack. Pfeiffer on the far side, now in front, went for a shot, bluffed it. Now that one passed well outside, or rather they're going to call that a shot. I think they're going to call that a shot. So it'll be Pfeiffer's ball. At the top again, Lions defense is crowding around. This is when that defense for the Lions continues to fold in on itself when they begin to puppy guard the net instead of going out and attacking.
Then on the other side, exactly what Pfeiffer has been doing is attacking the Lions defenders one-on-one, putting the arms in, putting the sticks in. Yeah, like you said, the Lions puppy guarding the net. That allows for too much space for the Falcons offense.
The Falcons shoot fantastic from outside. You cannot challenge them in that area. They're going to beat you. The Lions learning that lesson for about 8 times. This was a showdown between number 1 and 2. And for right now, it just shows that Pfeiffer, who came in ranked number 2, they have proven on Piedmont's home turf that they should be number 1. The Lions they have not had anything going for them other than a 3-goal run at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, the Falcons' defense has just been tremendous. That's why there's only been 5 goals for the Lions, but it was a string of 4 for the Lions, so 1 besides that one stretch.
Now everyone on that ball again. Ball knocked loose. Lions and Falcons wrestling for this one. The Falcons are going to come up with it again. Trent Orr takes a wild shot. And that one's going to skip all the way up to the top of the fence. And Pfeiffer regains it. Excellent defense there by Fuel. Able to cause a shot there that goes off post. And a fantastic block by Isley to send that one skyward. That shot attempt has worked multiple times against Isley this afternoon, whereas the pass inside, but he was a little bit wise to it this time around. And now Pfeiffer again gets opportunity here. Time of possession has just been folded in the Falcons' favor. The Lions have just not been able to get that ball free. Here they will get that ball in their possession with help to Isley, who Isley has had a good game, had some great saves. Unfortunately, though, it's just been a factor that Pfeiffer has been suffocating the rest of this Lions defense.
Yeah, and 12 goals isn't indicative of the way that Isley's played. It's been a lot of defensive collapses that have led to him getting some very, very tough ultimatums on, going to save it or not save it. But he's really had a lot of great opportunities to get those saves, and in those opportunities, he is almost perfect.
There's only so much you can do when you're facing a 60-mile-per-hour shot from 2 feet in front of you. Avila gets the helmet rocked a little bit, but he's able to stand up through it. Bice to Isley. Isley had a good look at that one. I like the Lions going for the fast break there. Didn't work that time, but I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
I wouldn't mind just putting up whatever shots you can take, because it's been few and far between, especially on the offensive end.
Isley tries for that pass to Harrington, but a good job by Hamilton to reach out of the crease and grab that out of the air. Lions still got plenty of time here in this third quarter, but they got to get something going right now to see if they can get a little momentum back in their side, and that's not going to help. We had another flag on the play. That was on the opposite end of the field. I think somebody just got sent to the box.
It's been pointless mistakes. That's why the Lions are down 7. It's been a lot of turnovers. There was that one play near the end of the first half where Will Isley stepped over the line barely for a false start. So just those small mistakes like this, especially when you're facing such tough competition, you can't have those.
So Piedmont is going to get this ball back. That was on the penalty. That's Jacoby Leonard again getting hit with unsportsmanlike. He's going to spend a minute in the box. That's a full minute for the Lions to do something with. Now we have another flag. It's a warning placed by the referee again. Another 1 minute in the box, and now the referee, or rather, Coach Dunton trying to get a conversation going with the referee, and is that another man-up opportunity?
Yeah, it is.
That is a 2-man-up opportunity, it seems, for the Lions. And if you're asking for a silver platter, here it is.
You got to at least have 2 goals back here, too. This is such a big opportunity in the course of this game.
So Lions, a double man-up opportunity. Winter loads from outside, goes over to Hasbrook. Whitmore. Whitmore passes inside. Now Lions scoop slam and saved by Hamilton. And now Hinkle goes across again. The Lions just unable to get through. Good save by Hamilton. Saves them as that ball is knocked loose and put into orbit right into the stick of Piedmont again. Now Fuel pushes his way down past midfield. Fuel looking for someone to pass to. Gonna go to Parr. Parr very versatile on the wing. Goes up under. Pass. Harrington slings it through. And it's gonna be Pfeiffer's. A wild shot attempt there. Not a bad shot attempt at all by Piedmont. But you slowly lose that man-up opportunity. Moving around midfield are the Falcons, as now they have their men back. Pfeiffer's not allowed anything to get through on their end, or on the other end. They've been scoring decently well. That one, good block up by Isley. This one over the head of a defender, and now unable to grab that one was Dieterle. Dieterle had an opportunity, could not scoop it up. Pfeiffer able to get the ball back. We got pause here.
They're still going. I think they're just trying to bleed the clock out.
Goodness gracious. That's an aggressive amount of time to bleed a clock out.
I mean, you're up 7.
And
so.
you're up 7 in the third. This isn't like you're winding down the final 2 in the fourth. Pagano ushering a stick high, and Isley able to kick that one free. Ball still is loose, now recovered here. Here's Dieterle. Dieterle trying to push his way through, falls on top, trying to get that ball back again. Whistle. Piedmont ball.
Yeah, Dieterle was getting hounded by 2 defenders there. Ooh, and yeah, I almost drew a whistle there. I'm sure you saw that 22-on-22 crime.
Yeah.
That was a big push. A lot of bad blood between these 2 teams. I'm sure we harped on that before.
Yeah,
but
they don't like each other.
No. Just watching the walkouts was info enough.
Parr trying to scoop up under. And Pfeiffer's going to get that ball back. Another costly mistake by the Lions, as they just cannot get out of their own way. So now it gives Pfeiffer a little bit more time to bleed the clock and burn the chances for Piedmont, as it looks like that might be the strategy down the stretch.
They know they can score, just take that initial half or so off the shot clock. I think that's the idea.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're just passing around, seeing if anything opens up for them. Now they're going for an attack here, and Isley again. We have said it time and time. Isley has not had a bad game. A lot of these goals are not on him.
And only 5 from the offense, too.
No, turnover here as Pfeiffer is going to get a wide open shot there. Another costly mistake by the Piedmont defense leaves Isley out to dry.
You psych yourself out for games like this, right? It's an important team that you have bad blood with, so you have to be as locked in as possible, but sometimes you overthink it. right? And then you end up in mistakes like this. You're so excited to get up on that field, and then all of a sudden you start making mistakes, and you get in your own head. That's kind of like the Lions are losing to themselves right now.
Time is running short, and it's more than a 6-point lead. Face off won again by Pfeiffer. It's been a story of the afternoon, and left all alone is Isley. Salt in the wound.
Looks like Pfeiffer's in their own world right now. It's like they're playing a completely different brand than what they're usually doing. They're clicking on all cylinders, and meanwhile, on the other side, it's just confusion and, you don't want to say disappointment, but it's not what you expected out of this game.
The defense has not been able to contend. The fast breaks have been too much. The face-offs have not been won. An unfortunate showing to this point by the Lions.
It's been 8 unanswered, too. It was 6-5 at one point. Now it's 14-5.
They win that face-off. Austin Sprout gets trashed out of bounds, and the flag is on the play. Moved a little bit further. I think we're just going to play through it for right now as Piedmont's still in possession. There's the whistle. Colin Huckabee was sent out there for Piedmont for the face-off. And then Sprout was able to pick it back up. The Lions, who all year have been a first-half team, were not able to get business taken care of in the first half. Just 2 in the first quarter, 3 in the second. And winding down this third quarter, they've been shut out. Whistle again here by the referees. I believe the ball is going to remain with Pfeiffer. Good run here by Pfeiffer. Lions defense trying to check him over. Now we'll see that Pfeiffer strategy bleed a little bit more. And burn seconds off the clock. In the corner is Trent Orr with 50 seconds on that shot clock. Defense for the Lions sets up right in front of the net. Moving around behind now is Johnson. The outside Lions just about put a 3-man wall on this one while one goes up top to disrupt. And now under 10 on the shot clock as that one is going to roll free. It'll be a 60-second reset for Pfeiffer. Piedmont just trying to get this ball back and just trying to see if they can start anything on the other end. Pfeiffer's just not even going to give them the keys to do so, though. They're going to take as much time as they can. And with now under a minute left in this third quarter, it looks like Piedmont's going to get shut out.
Yeah, Pfeiffer can run this clock out. There's about a 5-second differential in favor of Pfeiffer, meaning that there's more on the shot clock than the game clock, so they don't even have to take a shot here. They can just let it go into the next quarter if they want to.
They're going to take a shot, or it looks like they're going to try to take a shot perhaps, at least with that motion they look like it. Now they have completely pulled off. They go back to work here. Sling this one low, Isley with a save. Isley tries to airmail this one all the way over, and his counterpart Hamilton will pick that one up. a disastrous half for Piedmont, and one that might have just decided things here this afternoon.
Yeah, nine goals isn't exactly the easiest comeback in the world. But like you said, I think this fourth quarter is just going to be a good measuring stick for when playoffs come around. The Lions are lucky that this is not a playoff game. It's a regular season game. You take these lessons with you.
They will have to learn a lesson indeed. We'll take a break and then rejoin you with the fourth quarter action from the WAC. You're watching Piedmont Lions Lacrosse on YouTube. So we've made it to the fourth. And this day we thought that the Lions were going to have a knockdown, drag-out fight with Pfeiffer. And the Falcons have just came in and took care of business to this point.
It was a fight. It was 6-5, and then all of a sudden, Pfeiffer decided to wake up, and the Piedmont Lions basically fell asleep 8 unanswered to get us where we are now.
Glenzinski trying to steal that ball away out of the face-off, and it looks like someone loses some equipment as we're going to have a pause. Should be a Piedmont ball, though. Rather, no, it's going to be Pfeiffer. Interesting. Thought that Lions might have come away with that one. But the Falcons will push their way through. We'll see how aggressive that clock-burning strategy is in this one as they begin to pour on more. And Isley just trying to talk with the defense, saying, hey, guys, I need help back here.
And speaking of clock burning, is with a 10-run lead, is that now a running clock?
Should be.
Yeah. You got to have games like this, though, Eric. You got to have those games that you know you got to be put in your place. This is how you get good motivation to go into the playoffs and really get a good run going, because losing at home like this, it instills a fire in your team. And I know this team. You know the way they're going to respond to a game like this. It'll be a bit mad for a couple of days and then back to business.
They got a good bit of time to think about it. They got a good break before they face off against Huntington. And then that final match at Greensboro. And then April 26th, the USA South first round. Good check by Pagano. Pagano's someone that would thought maybe be a little bit more active this afternoon. Moves his way through the Pfeiffer attackers. That one just slammed right through. Isley absolutely defenseless there. And another goal put through by Ethan Miles. The sophomore has had a fantastic day. Setting up for the face-off here. Lions are going to send up. Who is that up there? Looks like Dieterle, perhaps. Yes, it was. Face-off still yet to be decided. Now it will be as Pfeiffer collects it on the hop. A 16-5 lead here for the Falcons, as they wasted no time scoring coming out of the break between the third and the fourth. Long just stretching of the clock, burning of the seconds here by Pfeiffer, a calculated measure. This one passed inside and a good deflection by Isley. It'll be a Pfeiffer ball, but able to hit it off the stick. Long pass is going to bounce past midfield, but able to corral it back over. There are the Falcons, still in well control, as now they're just missing every pass. And yeah, doing it again. Trip up. See who the ball's at it is. And it's going to be the Lions ball. So Piedmont going to take this one back. And a missed pass by Parr. Parr just left the stick down a little bit too early. And Pfeiffer looks for a turnover again, and this is just getting ugly for both sides. It's just turning into a bad product. Hasbrook hassled, but able to come up strong. Isley pushed his way through. Still moving with the defense. It doesn't look like Pfeiffer's defense is taking a day off, though. If Parr trying to put that one through the bottom. Unable to, and far frustrated with himself after that one. Avila trying to scoop it all over the top. It hits the top bar. It'll roll. And I think that was a calculated effort there by Hasbrook. See if he can get a 60-second reset off the shot. He will. Parr from right at the yellow line passes over to Isley, and Isley unable to grab it. It'll be a Pfeiffer ball.
Speaking of Pfeiffer's defense, you got to give Corbin Hamilton his flowers.
Oh, Hamilton's had a fantastic day.
Tremendous. I mean, 6'4" in the net also helps as being a bigger body than Isley, but any shot the Lions have had just immediately denied. He's had a great game.
Pfeiffer gets through the midfield. Ben Ramsey on that one. On the far side, Falcons continue to pass it around. Still got good 10 minutes left in this game. Running clock or not. Shot wide. It'll be Pfeiffer's once again. That one trying to get intercepted there by Pagano. Turns out to just be a missed shot, and it'll be recovered by Pfeiffer. Falcons just playing back at the X, just doing the passing that they've done all day long. And something that the Lions are definitely going to have to look at going into the playoffs, going into these final couple games, is just how the defense worked for them. The defense, I felt, was not as active as it usually was. It was definitely a different scheme than they have ran before. And they're doing it right now. they are still just holding those. It's a cluster. It's a cluster of players all together. No one's going out on an arm to see if they could go and defend and disperse. Ball on the ground, going to get scooped up here and taken away by the Falcons.
Falcons are winning every physical battle, too. The score is up by 11, but a lot of that has just been due to the way that they've won the one-on-one battles with a lot of contact, a lot of stick contact.
Good goose there, and that one a shot from well outside. That was on goal. Isley just able to net it, though. As the clock will spin over. Good right-handed snag by, right-handed snag there by Mears. And Mears gets it taken away. Well, uncontested here as Pfeiffer goes for another shot. Isley able to deflect it. And that'll go into the net of Sprout. Austin Sprout pushed it across midfield, and now the ball rolls free. Grounder collected by Rylan Walker. And now again, the ball's loose, but Bice able to get back to it. And he's going to cradle this one for a minute. Miller Bice. The backfield in the X, McGriff passes over, pushing inside here. Taking that shot was Winter. And it's going to go right in the net of Hamilton. Excuse me, that wasn't Winter, that was Wilson. Piedmont, see if they can get this ball loose, give themselves another opportunity. I mean, you would love to just not get shut out the entire second half, but right now it's just Pfeiffer controlling all the possession, and the Lions just unable to get any sort of attack brewing on the other end.
It's more of a pride thing, too, especially when you don't want to get shut out. That is a thing that will stick in the Lions' minds, and it'll definitely be something that will be talked about for a while for Pfeiffer for the rest of the series, because we've talked about that bad blood, but it'll just be something to take with you.
Good defense there, able to block it off the bar. Now tough, good physical defense from Fuel. Will force that ball to get pushed all the way to midfield. And a trio of defenders again collapse on each other. We've seen that again, or once before by the Lions, where we saw a collision between a pair of players. And it's just a situation where today the Lions they looked out of sorts from the get-go. And there was a brief time where they had everything together, but it just didn't last.
It's a lot of it's been those faceoffs. That's the way that the momentum has swung in the Falcons' favor, is winning those faceoffs after you get your own goal. That adds insult to injury, which is how they've gotten 10 unanswered.
Flag is on the field. This one to the X. Lions still moving. Slams it down. Hamilton still stands strong through it. And we'll have a stoppage here, as the referee is going to go over to the table, at least motion the table here, and just motion that flag. Well, there's another off-play penalty. See, that's assessed to in a moment. So Lions able to get back on the board from a shot from well outside. And even up 16-5. Very frustrated with that one was Hamilton as he let that one just sneak through. Harrington puts it through the back of the net. And it's been a minute since we've heard any music from the table, any celebration music for a goal. In fact, it's been since about the 8th minute of the second quarter. That's when the Lions defense was running well as they lose yet another face-off. Pfeiffer looking for a fast break, and they just get that right back. So short-lived hype for the Lions, as that one just blitz pass through the defense. The Lions defense just could not stop that at all.
It's like they're a second behind on everything defensively, letting way too much through, and that has left so much pressure on Isley to try to get saves. And look, this is good for his stat book for the saves, but for letting the goals through, not so much. But it's been a really, really tough day for this defense. It's a tale of two defenses today. It's not really been offensive performance. It's just been one defense not allowing anything, the other letting too much through.
And that goal by Piedmont by Isaac Harrington. It was on a man-up opportunity after it was a penalty on Chase Benton. And a good save again by Hamilton. Parr and Harrington wrestling for this one. Both are on the ground as trucking right on through is Luft. Excuse me, that might have been Barbetti. Here we go, Pfeiffer burning clock as we tick down the final few minutes here at the WAC. And again, it's going to be a long break for the Lions. They play again on the 16th as another one flies through. That game will be here versus Huntington. And it's a fact of Lions just are going to have a lot to talk about. I don't even know if it's something you can talk about after this game. You got to wait. You got to simmer on this one. You got to recover and then come back to it later on. But the conversation is going to be quite loud in that locker room come time as the guys look to rally up and get back to it. Because, again, while it hasn't shown today, this is still a good team in the USA South. It's just a matter of fact that Pfeiffer was the better team today and better by a long shot.
Yeah, and I really think it was bolstered by just a tough performance by the Lions. They lost to themselves in so many different facets today. But again, I keep coming back to the face-offs as well. It's that crest has seen so much action, and for black jerseys, that's been their main thing for a reason why they've been. Oh my gosh, there's a little bit of an interaction there, but that's the first time we've seen a real interaction with a lot of talking. I feel like it's been chill in that department. But
yeah. A lot of frustration that's building on that Lions sideline and on the field right now. Pagano has not left the field once today. He's been trying to be as stout a defender as he can, and that one goes off the bar, and just unfortunately he just hasn't had full opportunity, I feel, to be in the mix of things where he's deployed. Pagano's just a guy, real bulldog mentality. He wants to go get, he wants to get after you. And that's just the way he plays.
And the whole Lions team hasn't had a chance to do that. They haven't played a very physical game. On the other side, Pfeiffer's been playing probably as physical as they have all season. They just came ready to play. They knew they had to come in and do a job, travel on a road game. It's always a little bit of extra motivation to kind of be the villain in that situation, but they took that to the max today, clearly.
Absolutely did. (18-6), 12-point lead for the Falcons. The Lions were shut out in the third. They won't be shut out here in the fourth, thanks to Isaac Harrington. Isley doing a good job to keep the toes from going over midfield. And a pass that goes awry. Whitmore is going to be able to pick that one up. And now Pfeiffer blitzing through again. Bounce through. And Fuel able to get control of that one, or at least try. He has the stick of a Falcon tangled up, and a big takedown by Pagano. Yeah, that was building.
Yeah, there's the Bulldog mentality. A little bit out of control, but yeah, that's he's been waiting to do that for quite a while. If you're losing by 12, there's already a little bit of a mental deal there, but not being able to hit people in a sport where you're kind of decided to hit people as a mid or a defender it's tough.
Yeah. Pagano been waiting to do that one for about 3 quarters now.
Just frustration.
Yep. So Pfeiffer playing on the edges. Lions doing their best to see if they can knock this one loose. They go to the top. Rob Campbell is in. .34 on the shot clock. Here's a shot on Isley, and Isley again able to get low and block it well enough. Just about 2 minutes left in this game. The Lions and Pagano just try to launch that one through straight ahead. And Hamilton once again in front of it. Now the Lions defense has to return back over. Just one defender separating Isley. And that shot will bounce free. I believe that's going to be for Isley, or rather for the Lions. Looks like that Fuel is going to go pick up that one.
And look, even though it's been a bad defensive performance for the Lions, Eric Fuel has still played a great game. He's doing what he does best, right? Just being physical, and that's exactly what the rest of the team has been needing to do. But you got to give him his flowers, especially senior day. You know, senior will be one of his last games here at home.
Harrington over to Avila. Bice. Back over to Zach. Zach trying to push his way through. Avila. Tough checks against him. Go back to the X. Lions doing their best to see if they can hold this one for as long as they can, get perhaps a final shot off and take a little bit away from him. And that pass goes awry. No one able to handle that one. Now just under a minute left. And so it'll get turned over. And Pfeiffer. Looks like they might be able to run this one out, should they choose to do so. Hamilton getting pulled off in the final seconds. Going to check in with a new keeper. Pfeiffer will move to 8-3, 4-0 in the USA South. The Lions will drop to 5-1. This will be their first loss in conference play. They'll move to 8-4 overall. And that one, a good save by the newly entered keeper, Aiden Cox, the senior. And the Pfeiffer Falcons have beaten the Piedmont Lions here at home in the WAC on a day where the Lions were amped up. They were ready to go. They were ranked #1 coming in, and Pfeiffer decisively thumps them and will essentially take over that #1 spot. And the Pfeiffer fans, ever the proud, wave goodbye to us here in the press box as a fan gets on the field with a flag. And the amount of disrespect here should hold with the Lions.
You heard lots of stories from the way that this game went last year. It was a tough loss, 11-8, and the Pfeiffer fans were the exact same way. Obviously, Lions traveled to Pfeiffer to go play at them, so even more of a hostile environment. But yeah, now luckily there hasn't been an incident yet so far. There wasn't really too much big interactions between the players today, so thankfully that was, it was just a cleanly played game. It was a good old-fashioned dog walk. You have to deal with these type of games, especially as a team battling for the first spot in the conference. 5-0 coming in. Now 5-1, but still got the playoffs in front of you. I have a good feeling we'll see this team again in the playoffs.
And you have a good look at what this team can do to you.
Yep.
And you have a good idea of how mentally you need to prepare for them next time out. The Lions, still a good team in this USA South Divisions, USA South Conference. They have a lot to learn in this upcoming week as they prepare for Huntington. They have time to lick their wounds. And today Just an unfortunate showing here at home. And I know this team, I know this coach, and this school, this program, every squad, after a loss, they're ready to get back out the next day and do it. They're not able to do it to get back out the next day. Maybe that's for the better. Maybe you think about this one a little bit more. You measure yourself a lot more, and you come out with a lot more emphasis and a lot more energy. 6 goals in today's game for the Lions. Not what they're used to seeing out of themselves. And they will see Huntington back out here on the 16th. That's when you'll see us next here at the Lacrosse field for the guys. Ladies lacrosse also still in season. And, of course, baseball and softball in full swing as well. Baseball on a good run this year. So is softball. I believe maybe just one run still, or one loss, undefeated in the conference, something of that nature for the softball squad. They're on a good look, as well as baseball. You'll see them in action next week. But, folks, that's going to do it for us this afternoon. Thank you for staying with us on this Senior Day. And, Dan, another big congratulations and thank you to the seniors for committing so much to this program, committing so much to this university and college, as they will play their final games in the green and gold. But for Danielle Percival, her incredible sports communications crew over there, with Joseph Garwood included, for Tristan Hunt on camera for us this afternoon, and for August Goddard and Grant Prather, who are on call for me this afternoon as well, I'm Eric Edmondson, saying hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Make sure you stay safe. Avoid this pollen at all costs. It is really scary out there. But as always, go Lions.